forget about it. Fall, winter, spring, summer, running back. I'ma smoke it down until I'm through with that. I'm sitting candy coated, call up, she's a color hue. As soon as I pull up, she say I'm full with you. And right before I pull off, she say what's up with you. Baby, I'ma take your best as I can fucking do. I'ma switch a new.
¿Qué pasa, Jotas? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Woo, boy. Curls is on fleek. But today, need to switch out my driver's side CV boot because it's busted. And swapping out the boot is a little simple. I know you guys thinking, why don't you just put a whole new axle in? Well, the axle isn't popping, and the boot literally just ripped maybe like a week ago. And I don't drive the car every day yet, because I be driving the Jeep for the most part, at least until my girl get her license and be driving the Jeep on the daily. So yeah, I'm just gonna switch out the boot. And plus, when it comes to axles, OEM is the way to go, not these AutoZone axles or Napa axles, Advanced Auto axles. From what I've heard from people through forums, Facebook pages, friends, it's just not good quality as the OEM. I've heard a lot of people say that they get bad vibration and stuff like that. And the OEM one for the TC costs up close to about $300, and I ain't got $300 to be spending on no axle. So we just about to pull this one apart, clean her up, re-grease her, and put the new boot in, put it back together, and send it. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so got the axle loose. I didn't record it because if you guys have been paying attention to the channel and watched when I swapped out the engine, you would know how to undo the axle and everything. But for a short little explanation, you take apart the lower control arm. There's 3 bolts that holds it in. You pry it off. Of course, you undo the axle nut and everything before you jack the car up. But anyways, here's how the axle boot looks while it's on the car. This is the old one, and as you can see, it's completely torn all the way around. But like I said, the axle isn't making any noise, and it literally just split about a week or 2 ago. And I also, upon inspection, as you can tell, my transmission has been leaking, which I thought it could be possibly because this axle boot is busted, because you know the transmission oil goes into the transmission, the axle goes into the transmissions as well. But once I got under here, I forgot to tighten that bolt into the transmission when I put the engine together. Boy. Yes, I'm on the floor laying down. Anyways, yeah, as you guys tell, like I said in that video, I'm not an ASC certified mechanic. I'm a do-it-yourself kind of guy. But as you guys see from my one mistake, I always double check to make sure you've tightened every nut, bolt, screw, fastener, whatever you've taken loose. I always double check to make sure you've got it tightened and torqued down. Luckily, the leak was just a slow leak, and as you guys know, I put the engine in and at the end of April and had the car back up and running and everything. So the transmission, everything's been doing fine. Like I said, I just noticed the leak each time I would back my car out. I just see a couple of drips here and there in my garage on the floor. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna switch this axle boot out, and I'm definitely gonna tighten that bolt up, and hopefully that is what's causing my transmission leak, which I'm 95% sure it is, because it ain't supposed to be out. So yeah. And like I was explaining about the reason why I'm rebuilding this OEM axle versus going to AutoZone and Napa and getting one. The OEM ones has this little balance weight thing on it, as opposed to an aftermarket one, which I can show you guys on this one. This one was a remanufactured aftermarket one. Dang, I can't talk today. Aftermarket one that I had bought a long time ago, but this is actually for the passenger side. And I'm pretty sure I told you guys a story about this one. It's remanufactured, and I bought it back in January, February time. And as you guys know, I ripped the engine out, put the engine in at April. And when I went to put this one in, I discovered that the bearing on this axle, it's supposed to be 3 bearings on it, and this one only has 2. So they sent me a bad one. So I took this one apart and just rebuilt my passenger one with using this boot and some new grease and everything. Same as I'm going to do with this, but as you guys see on that one, there's supposed to be a little vibration weight thing on here, but it isn't. So that's another reason why I'm rebuilding the OEM ones, because these lessen the vibrations from the root. So yeah, all I'm gonna do is just pull this out, clean her up, pull the old snap rings off, put new snap rings on, and put it back together. Alright guys, so what you want to do once you get it separated, you want to go ahead and clean out all of the old grease that was in there. I just sprayed some brake clean in and wiped it out, and of course wear gloves because it's pretty nasty. I've got to pull these bearings off now. There's a little snap ring that's hidden in there under all of that grease. I got to clean off the grease, get that snap ring off, pull that out, pop the new snap ring in. Then what you would do, because it's kind of hard for me to record, I don't have like a tripod or anything, and it's a pretty compact place in here, so you wouldn't even be able to see with my hands, you know, in here working. So what you would do is you would take some grease, pretty much most of the new grease, and go ahead and pack it all in here. And you would go ahead and get your new ring or clamp and put on the outside of here loosely, so that way once you slide the new boot on, of course you're gonna have to put the new boot on here first, because like I said, you have to remove the snap ring, pull that out in order to get this piece off, and then you put the new boot on, then you put the bearings, and then the snap ring. Then you take this whole assembly here and you stick it into the main piece that's connected to the trans, which is why I say leave that clamp on this piece loosely, so that way the boot can just slide on. Then you can slide the ring on top of the boot, then you just crank it down, lock it in place. Then from that point you just put everything back together. Pretty simple. And the boot don't cost anything but like There's some that sells them for like $15. I think I got mine for, I think it was about $15. I got it off of partsgeek.com, I believe. I'll link it in the description below if you guys want to check it out. But you can get any kind of boot as long as it's for your car. It's not a universal one as well. It's specifically made for my TC, and it's OEM. It's an OEM quality boot, according to the website. So yeah, comes into this box. So yeah, here's the new boot. That's the grease there. New snap rings and clamps. But since that one piece is still connected to the transmission, I couldn't get it out even with my pry bar. So what I'm gonna use instead of these the snap ring, I'm gonna use the small snap ring, I believe, but the biggest snap ring that goes onto that bigger piece that's connected to the transmission, I'm actually gonna use one of these gear clamps. That's how my the one on the passenger side is connected. It's with the gear clamps. So yeah. Alright guys, so after you get it cleaned up, this is what I was trying to explain earlier. So as you see here, I got the little one of these clamps just loosely down here. I've already got the boot started. There's an indentation here of where this piece needs to go in the clamp. So you just slide it on down and get it seated. Once that's there, then you grab your bearings after you get those properly cleaned up and everything. And as you see, everything moves freely, you know. So there's little teeth here, as you can tell, on the shaft. And it doesn't really matter which way you put it on. Both ways are the exact same, so, or both sides is the exact same. Just press it on, and as you heard, it just clicked in. After that, take your new snap ring, which I'm gonna have to do that off camera because I can't do that and hold the camera at the same time. But it sits in between the bearing housing and the shaft. It sits right in there. Then once that's done, what I like to do is I like to go ahead and put a little bit of new grease on the bearings and around the bearing housing, and then I just fill up the rest and squeeze out all of that into the piece that's connected to the transmission, like I showed you earlier. Alright guys, as you see, I've got everything put back together as far as the axle goes. Now I got my coilover taken off because I am about to take one of these locking rings out so I can go just a tad bit more lower in the front.
Okay, I pull up high as fuck, right up front to where the venue was. Every time I look at her, she feel like I'm the only one. Only thing I care about is living life the best I could. Only wanna smoke and stay productive till the day is done. Pull up to my day ones, kicking shit like day one. Then I play her favorite song. She think we
Just putting a little anti-seize, so if I ever decide to raise the car up or mess with the coilovers again, the rings and this bottom piece won't be seized up.
I ain't got no beef with bones, but I'd rather roll it strong. She ain't tryna prolong, she get to the provolone. Pull up to my block quick, pop out then I dip. At first I told her no, but now I think I'll have a sip. Ever since I got my money right, I'm smiling like the Grinch. And I don't give a fuck about no sucker nigga shit. I'ma pull up screaming, don't get no fucking that is it. I show up doing 540, shaking bacon rip. Chicken bone, 9 songs, shorty in my whip. It's Hollow Squad, the coffin fleet, I bet they won't forget. You bitch.
Alright, got everything on both sides back connected and torqued down the spec. I took out one of the locking rings on the coilover so I can go a little bit more lower in the front. I'm gonna mess with the rear whenever I get me some 17 by 10s. So right now this should be perfect, I'm hoping anyway, but we'll see once I put the wheels on it, put her on the ground and jump on it a little bit. Alright, so here it is after everything's back together, test drive and everything. My alignment's still good, steering wheel stayed straight, which is perfect. And as you can see, that fitment is on point. I'm doing a little bit more scraping now. Gang gang. Also, kind of worried about this here, the little bumper tab. For whenever I do hit bumps or whatnot, but I think we'll be fine. But yeah, I will give you guys a better look, but it's dark out now. It's not bad. So with that being said, that's gonna conclude this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on IG at DropTC, dropped_TC. You know, follow me, boy, if you ain't already following. And as always, keep your head up, stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be easy.
There's no time to waste,